Welcome to the Insomnia Project. Sit back, relax, and, of course, listen as we have a conversation about the mundane. One thing we can promise is that our conversation will be less than fascinating so that you can just drift off. We want to thank you for joining us, and we hope you will, in fact, listen and sleep. Follow us on Twitter at Listen and Sleep. Tell your friends, your family, if they need something to help them listen and sleep, to tune into our podcast, The Insomnia Project. I'm your host, Marco Timpano.
And I'm your co-host, Nidhi Khanna. Marco, my stomach was rumbling a little bit there.
You got a little bit of the rumbles.
Yeah, a little bit of the rumbles. It reminded me, oddly enough, about, you know when they talk about having butterflies in your stomach?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Do you ever get that when you're about to step on stage or anything like that?
Oh, that's a great question, because I just got on stage last week, and I performed at Confabulation. Remember we had Paul LaFlalo?
Yeah.
So he did a short storytelling where they did 28 stories. I did not have butterflies in my stomach. I don't get butterflies, but I know that I do get a little anxious before I go on stage, and then funny enough, Nidhi, when I step on stage, I'm fine. I don't even think about it.
Yeah,
it's one of those
usually
things.
that's what happens to me too. Where it's like I have butterflies just until the moment that I'm actually on stage. And it's oddly enough, it's a little bit like comforting now, because I know the ritual of that feeling.
Sure.
And so it's almost like it's a pre-cognitive, like it's very cognitive. It's just like something my body does now rather than being freaked out by it.
Sure. Have you ever, I once had a butterfly land on me. Have you ever had a butterfly land on you? Yeah, it landed on my shoulder. It was a monarch butterfly, and it stayed there for quite some time. It was cool.
Did it like flap its wings?
It flapped its wings, and then eventually it just kind of like said, see ya, and took off. But it was a really interesting sort of
And monarchs are the ones that are kind of like orange and black?
Yes.
Okay.
And they go to, what's the word? Not hibernate. When you travel, you migrate. They migrate to Mexico somewhere, and they all sort of gather in a forest, and it's just covered in monarch butterflies.
Really? Mm-hmm. How long do they live, do you think? Like, are they...
Oh, that's a great question. I know that they feed on milkweed.
Oh, okay.
Are you familiar with milkweed?
No, what's milkweed?
Milkweed is a weed that if you break the stem, the liquid that comes out of it is sticky and white like milk. And they tend to have these little pods that are kind of like they kind of look like a small misshapen cucumber. And if you open them up, they've got like a fluffy interior.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently butterflies are only around for like 12 months.
Then that's just a year?
Yeah.
Oh.
At least the Vanessa cardui, I don't know how to pronounce it. My Latin's not top notch, but yeah, it's that colorful. Oh, it's also known as the painted lady. And it's about 12 months in the wild that it lasts. So I wonder what a monarch's lifespan is. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. Monarchs only live for about 2 to 6 weeks.
No, that can't be right, because they migrate. They migrate to Florida and stuff.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
During the fall,
okay, wait. During the summer breeding season, monarchs live for only 2 to 6 weeks. But the monarchs that migrate to Mexico in the fall are different. They are born in late summer, stay alive all winter, and migrate north the following spring. It seems like, why would they... It seems like a really short lifespan. But...
Well, I mean...
What do I know really about insects' lifespans?
I guess you want to be a monarch that's born in the fall, because you get to migrate to Mexico.
Well, there you go.
Do you like butterflies?
I'm kind of neither here nor there about them. They're not my insects of choice.
Oh, what would be your insect of choice? A lot of people get butterfly tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I gotta say, I have a problem with that.
Really?
Yeah, like, this is another one of Nidhi's rant moments.
Wow, my goodness.
You pushed a button.
Okay, well, maybe we should just go to your insect of choice.
I just find, what is the point of a butterfly tattoo?
Well, I think it has a lot of symbolic meaning for people. You know, butterfly flies and has beautiful wings and sort of flutters and does its thing. And, you know, I'm sure it has...
Would you get a butterfly tattoo?
I don't think so. That wouldn't be my tattoo of choice, but...
What would be your tattoo of choice?
You know, I've been thinking of a couple of tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, but I've been thinking of a couple of tattoos I would get. I don't know. I've found the tattoo artist that I like.
Oh.
But I haven't found the tattoo that I want.
Who's the tattoo artist?
She's a tattoo artist that works not too far from here, that I follow her on Instagram, and I just like her work. Tammy something is her name. I've got to look it up. But what's your insect of choice? I'm curious about that.
Oh, my insect of choice. You know, I don't know. It's not a butterfly. I want to say maybe... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they're all pretty gross, insect-wise. I mean,
oh, really?
Ladybugs, you know, they can be cute, but I know they're kind of like it's not good to have ladybugs, right? Because aren't they, what are they called?
You really don't know much about insects,
no,
do you?
but aren't they, oh my gosh, why can't I think of the words?
While you're thinking, butterflies symbolize rebirth and resurrection.
Okay.
And that's why
right.
they're tattooed.
I still think it's a lame tattoo.
Well, listen, you don't have to get one, I guess, right?
No, but clearly I'm going to judge hard anyone who has one.
Yeah, they stand for love, resurrection and rebirth, transformation, spirituality and the soul, a connection with nature and the natural elements, grace, and femininity.
Oh, wait, caterpillars turn into butterflies, right?
Right, of course.
Oh, yeah, no, I like butterflies.
What?
Like, in terms of an insect of choice.
1 second you're like, it's not my insect of choice. Then you realize a butterfly transforms from a caterpillar.
Yeah.
And they go into that
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, sure it is. And they go into
pretty
that
cool.
pupa stage. And,
Yeah.
you know, they...
Yeah, that's cool.
Have you ever seen a butterfly come out of its cocoon?
No, that's not something I'd like to see.
Oh, I think it'd be awesome. Like, you've never seen time-lapse photography of a butterfly?
No, to me it's like birth. I don't want to see anyone giving birth.
Okay, fair enough. It's rebirth, because they've been born from the larvae stage to the caterpillar stage, and then they transform into the butterfly. It's very significant, a butterfly tattoo. Now that I think of it, the more I'm talking about it, the more it makes sense to me.
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
Not for me, but I can see how valid it is. For our listeners who have butterfly tattoos, I'm on your side. If you want to write a nasty letter directed solely to Nidhi, who one moment has a problem with it and it's not her insect of choice, and now it's your insect of choice.
Well, no, I mean, out of all the insects, because most insects are pretty gross, right? Like
to you, not to everyone.
Name me a non-gross insect. Like an insect that you'd be like, I'm fine with that being in my house, other than a butterfly. And like I said, ladybugs are like parasites, right? Like, they're not good to have them.
No, they're good to have because they eat a lot of the parasitic aphids and whatnot.
Okay, well, you know more about insects
Clearly.
than I do.
Well, I don't think I'd want an insect in the home, but insects generally don't bother me.
Okay.
So let's say, spiders are good. Don't make a face. Spiders are really good for... If it wasn't for spiders, there'd be all kinds of mosquitoes and other insects that you're not a fan of. So
They're disgusting, though.
They're not.
They are.
Okay. Well, there you go. We differ. I think spiders are very lovely.
People have, traumatic fears of spiders.
Sure.
They're pretty gross.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not saying that they don't have a place in this world. And obviously they exist for a reason and, are good in terms of all the things that you just said about eating other bugs.
Right.
But I'm still going to kill one if it's in my house.
I try not to, so there you go.
Well.
Once again, send your messages to Nidhi, the person who is very against animal welfare. Bees. I like bees. That's an insect of choice because they make honey, and honey is fantastic. And
they
there
also
you go.
Sting you.
If you get in their way and stuff, I don't blame them. A dog will bite you, but we're not afraid of dogs necessarily. No. So there you go.
And I guess honeybees are different from wasps, right?
Right.
Because wasps don't make honey.
Honey, no, they don't.
Just honeybees.
Right.
Okay.
Do you like honey?
I do. Mm-hmm. I don't have it in everything. I don't.
When do you use honey?
Okay. So sometimes when I'm, stressed out and want to relax before going to bed, I will have a warm cup of milk with honey.
Yum.
Yeah. Because that's like a child, how there's some childhood comfort things.
Sure.
And that's what my mom used to always give us, is warm milk with honey.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have it then. But I don't usually, I know Amanda loves honey.
She loves honey, yeah. She puts it on everything, yeah.
I recently tried
honey whiskey?
No, it was a honey with, it was a honey syrup with like a hot sauce in it. So it was infused with I can't remember if it was Tabasco honey or something like that.
How was it?
It was really good actually on pancakes. Oh my gosh, it was really yummy.
That's I would try that for sure.
I had it at Old School, which is a brunch place.
See,
Toronto,
but I prefer maple syrup with my pancakes. And right now I've noticed a lot of places, Nidhi, and I think we've mentioned that Toronto's definitely a brunch town.
Yeah.
A lot of pancake places are not giving me my maple syrup. They're giving me some sort of blueberry compote, an espresso homemade syrup. I want pure Canadian maple syrup.
You know what's interesting?
Have you ever tapped for syrup?
I have.
Okay.
I've gone sugar.
Okay, before we go there, tell me what's interesting, because I want to know.
It's interesting that now I find, sometimes you'll go to breakfast places and you have to pay more for real
maple syrup
mm-hmm. rather than the Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, the faux syrup, the syrup that's just made with sugar.
Yeah. And I find that very interesting because it never used to be the case.
I know. Because syrup's so expensive, it's such a commodity, if you will.
Did you hear about the maple syrup heist in Quebec?
Yes. But before we get into that, tell me about the process of making maple syrup, since you've experienced it.
So you tap it from the tree, essentially.
With a spigot, right?
Yeah, so you go into the maple tree and
wait. Before we go there.
Okay.
You got to preface it with where were you? How did this happen? Okay, God. Give me the background here. Because you're from Quebec, and Quebec is often associated with maple syrup,
mm-hmm.
even though being an Ontarian, I have to say Ontario has fantastic maple syrup, and I support the Ontario maple syrup farmers. But anyways, I digress. Please tell us about...
Fair enough. Well, if you grow up in Quebec, one of your school trips will always be to go to the cabane à sucre, the sugaring off, or
the sugar shack, right?
Sugar shack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually, in Montreal, we'd go up north a little bit, and you've got all the maple trees in the forest.
To where we have a lot of listeners in Quebec. We have a lot of when I look at the stats of people listening.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'm always asking Nidhi, where's this? And you're like, it's about an hour from Montreal, or that's a suburb of Montreal, or that's close to Quebec City.
Yes.
But so where would you be doing this?
The one, the last time we did it, I think it was closer to Quebec City, but I could be wrong.
Fair.
We're talking about 25 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, so usually you go to a maple syrup farmer, for lack of a better word, and they'll have you go out into the woods, and their trees are these large maple trees.
They're not just maple trees, right? So for our listeners, Nidhi, I love it when we get into a really Canadian topic, because then we have to sort of explain it to our listeners who are overseas listeners. It's only the sugar maple that makes maple syrup.
Sure.
I know you're looking at me like I'm an idiot, but it's because we're around maple trees, and so we know the sugar maple. And the sugar maple, for our listeners who aren't familiar with maple trees, is the maple tree that produces the red leaf in fall, and that if you look at a Canadian flag, that's the leaf, is the sugar maple. So yes. I'm sorry, Nidhi, I know I've stopped you in your story, but we need to hear how this exciting trip to the sugar shack ends. Okay, so you're walking amongst the sugar maples.
Yes, and they're all sort of pre-tapped, right?
Oh, so you haven't tapped the spigot in?
No, they're usually kind of in a weird way, it's like they're farmed a bit.
Yeah,
you know
of
what
course,
I mean? Like,
'cause, yeah.
so so the spigot's tapped, but you kind of like bring you have the bucket underneath
Right.
the
Spigot. Yeah,
this like describe a spigot. It's like
it's
like almost like a large pin type. I don't even know how you would describe it.
it might be called something other than a spigot. It might be called
Let's see.
because I feel like the bucket has its own name.
We live in a culture obsessed with dieting, weight loss, and exercise. And that can make eating disorder behaviors easy to miss. But the reality is, eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that take a major toll on your health and your life. But recovery is possible. Eating disorders are more common than you might think. Chances are you know someone who is struggling with one. Or maybe you're struggling yourself. If you're concerned about an eating disorder in yourself or a loved one, I want to introduce you to Equip. Equip is a fully virtual, evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps patients achieve lasting recovery at home. Every Equip patient is matched with a multidisciplinary care team that includes a therapist, dietitian, medical provider, and mentors. And you get a personalized treatment plan that's tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Equip treats patients of all ages and all eating disorder diagnoses. It's covered by insurance, and there's no wait list. If you think that you or a loved one could be struggling with an eating disorder, don't wait to get help. Visit equip.health to learn more. That's equip.health.
When it comes to managing money, forget the hype and look at the results. Bill has $1 trillion of secure payments powering our bill pay tools. Instead of just moving money, Bill is powering the financial operations of nearly 500,000 customers. So stop the guesswork and start scaling with the proven choice. Ready to talk with an expert? Visit Bill.com/proven to get started. And grab a $250 gift card as a thank you. Terms and conditions apply. See offer page for details.
We need to keep kids safe online, but some special interests are sending policymakers in the wrong direction, pushing the so-called App Store Accountability Act, demanding government ID from all users just to download an app, replacing parents' judgment with government mandates. It doesn't even stand up in court. A better bipartisan bill, the Parents Over Platforms Act, would put parents in the driver's seat, empowering parents and businesses to keep kids safe without drowning all of us in red tape. Tell Congress to get it done right and put parents over platforms.
Paid for by ACT, the App Association.
And once again, for our listeners who are thinking, what is this crazy thing Canadians do? And Americans do too. Vermont and places like that have fantastic, New Hampshire has fantastic maple syrup, Massachusetts. So I want to send a shout out to the New England states that do that and other U.S. states that also produce maple syrup. Now, we do this process in around this time of year, like it's in late January, February when this is happening, if I'm not mistaken, right, Nidhi? Like when you would go, it would always be in the winter months. Like,
Yeah, it's always in the winter.
it's because when the sap starts flowing in the tree, that's when you're going to get the maple syrup, because you're tapping the tree for sap, which you then boil away the liquid so that the sugar remains until you get a syrup.
Yes, yeah, essentially that's exactly what.
And they do
you're
it in
supposed to
huts,
do.
and it's traditional, and it's fantastic.
And
then,
it's quite lucrative, actually.
Oh, yes, for sure.
So it's actually, there was like a big heist a few years ago in Quebec where someone stole like $3 million worth of maple syrup, and
because a tree will only produce so much sap,
like
right?
1
So
to
it's
2
like
taps, maybe.
So you're tapping all these large trees for the syrup, and yeah, that's it. Does it say what it's called? Nidhi just pulled up on her phone. This what I'm calling a spigot. I feel like you're taking far too much time to.
Because there's nothing here that says it's called a spigot. I'm trying to find that word. But all that to say that the best part of going to the maple tree syrup area or the maple syrup farm, essentially
The excursion to
the excursion. Thank you. Is you get to do the sugaring off afterwards, where they have like a bed of ice on a almost like it kind of similar to like what you would see like a buffet of shellfish. They'd put it on like a bed of ice. You know what I mean?
I have sap spouts are what they're calling them.
That probably is a lot clearer than a spigot. It really just describes what it does, which is great. Okay. But you get to put like the sap on this ice, and it freezes immediately. And you take a popsicle stick, and then you put the popsicle stick on the solidified sap, essentially.
Well, it's not frozen. It becomes more like a... Because if it was frozen, you wouldn't be able to do it. It becomes like a taffy. It becomes like a sticky...
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. Because it goes from a liquid to a not complete solid, but more of a sticky solid. Yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So it's still flexible, because when you take the popsicle stick and you put it on like the semi-solidified liquid sap taffy
thing,
whatever it is, if you twist it, you kind of twist it into almost like a popsicle. And then you're able to eat it off of the popsicle stick, essentially. And it's really good. And then you're on a sugar high for like at least 2 or 3 hours.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. So yeah.
Are you a fan of maple syrup? I love it. You know I love it.
I do too. And it's funny because I think the maple syrup, like when you've tapped it out of the tree and made pure maple syrup, actually tastes less sweet than... Like, it's got like a nuttier flavor than the maple syrup that you have, let's say, at brunch with your pancakes.
Well, there's different grades and qualities of it, right? So I'm sure when it gets tapped from the tree and you're having it then and there, it's not... What's the term I'm trying to find?
It's like unrefined, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's an unrefined maple syrup, so it's probably got a beautiful taste to it as well, but it's not the refined syrup that's very standard, or the grade A quality syrup, right? There's a lot to be said about that, right?
Do you know there's a whole... have you ever heard of this thing called the lemonade diet, or the lemonade cleanse?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Where you drink like a concoction of pure maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and like lemon juice
and water, right? Yeah.
And water, yeah, for days and days and days, which I find bizarre and fascinating at the same time. But I have a friend who used to swear by it. Okay. And she'd be looking all over for like the pure maple syrup. Yeah. And it's actually quite expensive.
Sure.
When it's that like pure grade. It can be like $15-20.
Yeah, but you know what? To be quite honest with you, there's not that much of a noticeable difference, in my opinion, between, because like the syrups also come in like amber, dark, and light maple syrup. I guess much like honey, because I think we got onto this topic from honey. You can get like a buckwheat honey is darker than a wildflower honey and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they taste different, but I would argue that for something like that kind of a cleanse thing, I think you could use any old maple syrup, to be quite honest, as long as it's a pure maple syrup, because it's a pure product from a tree and whatnot.
I think so.
It's like lemon juice, right? Like it's like you could use Meyer lemon juice, you could use regular lemons or whatever, and it's still lemon juice. Yeah, it'll taste a little bit different, but I don't think it would affect necessarily the quality of some cleanse product you're going to use.
Right. Like, do you think the real lemon stuff in the bottle is just as good as like the lemon?
Okay, that's a great question. So the bottled lemon juice will have things like ascorbic acid or preservatives in it, whereas a lemon won't, right? So you'll get that lemon juice. But that's not to say lemon from one of those little squeeze bottles isn't great to have, because sometimes you just need lemon juice, or, a lot of people say you should have hot water and lemon in the morning. And sometimes you might not have time to like slice a lemon and boil the water. You just have to get something on the go. And if it's easier for you to squeeze a little lemon in your hot water and put it in a to-go cup, then it's a great alternative. See, I'm very like live and let be, and you're like, oh, I've got problems with that.
Only with butterfly tattoos and insects.
Well, that's quite a bit.
I don't know.
But I think you've changed your mind on butterfly tattoos.
I'm a little bit more accepting, but I still...
What we need to do is get you an awesome butterfly tattoo.
Oh, my God. Imagine you came up with me and he's like, here's a gift certificate for a tattoo.
And it has to be a butterfly. Would you get a tattoo? Is that something that you'd be... Oh, you would?
I would.
Oh, then I'm gonna show you the Instagram of this, this tattoo artist. She's pretty awesome.
I would get a tattoo, yeah. Where would you get a tattoo?
Well, I have to be sort of choosy, I think, because I don't want it anywhere that's going to be
Visible for like...
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with Amanda today. I would probably get it on my foot.
Oh, interesting.
I know, weird, huh?
Why the foot?
Oh, because you don't really see your feet unless it's the summertime. So I feel like it's kind of inconspicuous in a way, but I can reveal it when I want on a hot summer day or whenever I'm like going.
So would you get like a tattoo to commemorate something or someone, or would you like what would be the purpose?
Oh, that's a great question. Like, you know, I was telling Amanda that a friend of mine had a little cow on his backside. And I said, "Why did you get that?" And he goes, "I just thought it was funny." And I thought that was kind of neat. I'm like, that's kind of cool, right? It's kind of like a tattoo that doesn't have meaning other than he thought it was funny, right?
Yeah.
And so I would probably do something like that I thought was kind of funny or that had personal meaning.
Fair enough.
I don't think I would get one to commemorate someone.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my style.
Yeah.
I say that, but who knows, right? You never know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But I think tattoos are great. If there's something you like and you want to do, I say more power to you. Like, I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I find it. I would probably get one on my forearm actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a phrase. I feel like I would probably get a phrase or something,
Mm-hmm.
something very personal that I can reference.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. Like, especially when there's a catchphrase or like a, you know me, I love sayings. I love like certain sayings. That's one of the things I just, you know, I could spend an hour on the computer just looking up different people's sayings and whatnot, right? And there was just one. There was one I heard about W.C. Fields, which was like, "It's not what people call you, it's what you answer to," or something like that. Yeah, and it was kind of neat. It was kind of neat.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was in a book that I read called Big Magic.
Oh, okay.
By Elizabeth Gilbert. I got that for my birthday. And I really enjoyed that book, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the author.
Oh, really?
She wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh,
it wasn't for me. I didn't
me.
dislike it. But anyways, I love that book.
Hey, speaking of birthday gifts,
Mm-hmm.
have you tried that?
I have.
Okay, so we need to tell the listeners.
Yes, please.
So for Marco's birthday, I got him like a cardamom espresso
Syrup.
Syrup.
Speaking of syrups.
Exactly.
Isn't that apropos?
Go.
Yeah.
And so, because Marco just loves cardamom, it's his favorite spice.
Love it, yeah.
So, and it was good?
It's good. It doesn't, I think I need to use more because it was very subtle.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to waste it or put too much, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm gauging it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat. It's neat to have it. I'll make it. Next time you're here, I'll make it because we're enjoying tea right now.
Yeah.
Unless you want to try it in your tea, but I don't know if it would go.
Think it would go.
Yeah.
But coffee or something. I'm sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try the syrup.
They said oddly enough you could put it in like your soda stream.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
Because we talked about that with I think Nug, about like using different sort of flavorings from I don't even know what they're like tinctures and whatnot, right? And I totally understand that you could do that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This episode was about things Nidhi hates, butterflies, insects of choice, honey, syrup, maple syrup, going to a sugar shack, tapping trees, tattoos, you name it. This was the episode that just like had multifaceted episodes.
It's true. Lots of layers here. And as always, we are produced by Drumcast Productions and recording from Toronto, Canada. And until the next time, in our next conversation about random occurrences. You should get
listen and sleep tattooed on your forearm.
Ooh, there's a challenge. I like that. And we hope that you, indeed, listen and sleep.